Speak daily English. Real English every day.
What if I told you that one amazing travel story could teach you 41 essential English idioms that Americans use every single day? Well, that's exactly what we're doing today.
Hey everyone! I just got back from the most incredible trip to Vietnam, and I can't wait to share it with you all.
Welcome to Speak Daily English. I'm Anna, and today I have a very special guest with me. This is Alex, and he's about to take us on a journey through Vietnam that's packed with authentic American expressions you absolutely need to know.
Thanks for having me, Anna. I'm so excited to share this adventure with your listeners.
Now, here's what makes this episode special. Alex naturally uses 41 different idioms throughout his story, and we're going to break them all down for you. Plus, stick around to the end because we've created an amazing quiz video where you can test your knowledge of all these idioms. Alex, before we dive into your Vietnam adventure, tell us a little about yourself. Are you a big traveler?
Well, I wouldn't call myself a travel expert, but my wife Sarah and I love exploring new places. We're always looking for our next adventure, you know?
And how did Vietnam end up on your list? Was it always a dream destination?
Actually, no. We were originally thinking about Thailand, but a friend of mine who's been all over the world told us we were sleeping on Vietnam, and boy, was he right.
Ooh, there's our first idiom. Sleeping on something means ignoring or overlooking something valuable. Alex, your friend was basically saying you were missing out on something amazing.
Exactly. And that's just the beginning of this story.
All right, take us to the beginning. You land in Hanoi, and then what?
So we landed in Hanoi, and we didn't waste any time. We just hit the ground running. The weather was pretty muggy, and I was sweating bullets, but we were too excited to care.
I love that energy. So hit the ground running means to start something immediately with full energy, right?
Absolutely. And Anna, Hanoi's old quarter is truly a feast for the eyes. The narrow, colorful streets, the constant activity, it's sensory overload in the best way.
Feast for the eyes, something visually beautiful or appealing. But I heard the traffic there is pretty intense.
Oh man, the traffic is next level crazy. Thousands of motorbikes everywhere. Crossing the street is a real leap of faith. You just have to trust that the bikes will go around you.
So next level means extremely good, and leap of faith is doing something risky based on trust rather than certainty. Were you scared?
I was freaking out at first, but after a few tries, we got the hang of it. The locals told us to walk slowly and steadily. Don't stop.
Freaking out means being very anxious or scared. Alex, tell us about the food.
Oh, the food. We tried beef pho at this tiny local spot, and it was out of this world. The broth was perfect, the beef was tender, and I wolfed it down, even though I'm usually a picky eater.
Two great idioms there. Out of this world means extremely good, and wolfed it down means ate very quickly and eagerly. You are really hungry.
In the first few days, we dove right into exploring. We visited Ho Chi Minh Lake, where locals practice Tai Chi at the crack of dawn. Talk about dedication.
Crack of dawn means very early morning. That's commitment to fitness.
Then we checked out the Temple of Literature, dating back to 1070. I'm not usually a history buff, but this place had me hanging on every word from our guide.
History buff is someone who really enjoys or knows a lot about history. Sounds like Vietnam was expanding your interests.
But here's where things got really interesting. We signed up for a street food tour, and our guide, Min, was an absolute riot.
An absolute riot means very funny or entertaining. Tell us more about this tour.
He took us to tiny spots we might have walked right past. We tried bun cha, grilled pork with noodles that Obama and Anthony Bourdain famously enjoyed. Sarah was hesitant to try the more exotic dishes, but I told her, when in Rome.
When in Rome means when you're somewhere new, do what the locals do. The full saying is, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Did she try everything?
She ended up loving egg coffee. I thought it would gross me out, but it was to die for.
To die for means incredibly delicious or amazing. That egg coffee sounds incredible. Any other memorable moments in Hanoi?
We also stayed at this charming boutique hotel in the old quarter. The staff really bent over backwards to make us feel welcome. They gave us all the insider tips on places off the beaten path.
Two more great expressions. Bent over backwards means made extraordinary efforts to help, and off the beaten path means away from popular tourist areas. Sounds like you found some hidden gems.
Exactly. That's when I realized we'd struck gold with this trip. Hanoi is a total madhouse, and I mean that in the best way possible.
Struck gold means found something very valuable or lucky. Hanoi really made a great first impression. Now, I've heard Ha Long Bay is absolutely stunning. Tell us about that part of your trip.
Anna, we splashed out on a room with a private balcony, and it was the best decision ever. The limestone cliffs rising from emerald water, we kept pinching ourselves the whole time.
Splashed out means spent a lot of money on something special, and pinching ourselves means checking if something amazing is real. It sounds magical.
It really was. The cruise included kayaking through hidden caves. At one point, we were completely alone, and the silence was something that just stops you in your tracks.
Stops you in your tracks. Something so amazing it makes you pause. That sounds like a perfect moment.
It was incredible. And the best part? That dinner didn't break the bank. It was surprisingly affordable for such an amazing experience.
Break the bank means to cost a lot of money, but you're using it in the negative. It didn't cost too much. Smart spending. Now tell us about Hoi An. I've seen pictures and it looks like a fairy tale.
Hoi An completely stole our hearts. This ancient town lights up with colorful lanterns every night. We didn't want to leave.
Stole our hearts means made you fall in love with something. It sounds enchanting.
The food in Hoi An will knock your socks off. Banh Mi Phuong, praised by Anthony Bourdain, lived up to the hype. Cao Lao, a noodle dish unique to Hoi An, also blew us away.
Wow, 3 great expressions there. Knock your socks off means really impress you. Lived up to the hype means was as good as everyone said it would be. And blew us away. The food sounds incredible.
We took a cooking class there and had a blast. The chef was an absolute riot. So funny. He kept saying my spring rolls were same, but different, which is apparently a common phrase there.
3 great expressions. Had a blast means had a really good time. An absolute riot means very funny person. And same but different is a playful way to say things are similar but not identical. Were you getting better at cooking?
Well, let's just say I was on the fence about my cooking skills, but the chef's encouragement helped. We were in stitches the whole time from laughing so much.
On the fence means undecided or unsure, and in stitches means laughing a lot. Sounds like the perfect class.
We also splurged on custom-made clothes at a local tailor. Sarah ordered a traditional ao dai, and it fits like a glove.
Interesting. Splurged on means spent extra money on something special, and fits like a glove means fits perfectly. Those Hoi An tailors are famous for their skill.
We also rented bikes and rode through rice fields. We met this elderly couple who showed us how to plant rice by hand. Tough work. They insisted we tried their homemade rice wine, and Sarah was 3 sheets to the wind after just 1 small glass.
3 sheets to the wind means very drunk. That rice wine must have been strong. And you shared a meal with them?
Yes, we broke bread together despite the language barrier. It was such a beautiful moment of human connection.
Break bread means to share a meal and connect with others. Those are the moments that make travel so special.
We almost broke the bank on those tailor-made suits, but honestly, it was worth every penny. The craftsmanship was incredible.
Honestly, almost broke the bank means nearly spent too much money, but sounds like you got great value for what you paid.
Absolutely.
Hoi An has this magical quality. The lantern-lit streets at night, the ancient architecture, the friendly people. It's like stepping back in time, but with all the modern comforts you need.
It sounds like Hoi An was a real highlight of your trip. The combination of culture, food, and experiences must have been unforgettable.
It really was. Every corner of that town had something special to discover.
Then you headed south to Ho Chi Minh City. How was that different?
Ho Chi Minh City never sleeps. It's constantly hustling and bustling, much more modern than Hanoi. We visited the War Remnants Museum, which was a real eye-opener.
Never sleeps describes a place that's active all day and night. And eye-opener means something that reveals surprising new knowledge. That must have been educational.
It really was. Heavy stuff, but important to understand both sides of history. And everyone we met was so warm and down to earth, just genuinely friendly people.
Warm and down to earth means friendly and humble, easy to talk to. That's wonderful to hear.
We also did a day trip to the Cu Chi tunnels. I tried crawling into one, and let me tell you, I felt like a fish out of water. I'm 6'2", so it wasn't my finest hour.
Fish out of water means feeling uncomfortable or out of place. I can imagine that was quite the challenge.
The guide got a kick out of watching me struggle in there, but it was such an important historical experience.
Got a kick out of means enjoyed or found something amusing. Guides probably see that a lot with tall visitors. Alex, what impressed you most about Vietnam?
Their resilience and forward-thinking attitude. Despite our complex history, not once did we feel out of place as Americans. In fact, people lit up when we talked about where we were from.
Out of place means feeling like you don't belong. It's beautiful that you felt so welcome.
And here's what really struck me. We went all out for our anniversary dinner one night. 5 courses and champagne, and the restaurant staff treated us like family.
Went all out means did something with maximum effort or expense. Sounds like a perfect celebration.
By the end of the trip, I realized our friend was right when he said we were sleeping on Vietnam. When it was time to leave, the hotel manager said, "Don't be a stranger," and we definitely won't be.
Don't be a stranger is a friendly way to ask someone to stay in contact. It sounds like you made real connections. Alex, that was an incredible story. Now, for our listeners who want to master these expressions, let's do a quick recap. You used 41 different idioms naturally throughout your Vietnam adventure.
Wow, 41? I didn't even realize I was using so many. That's the beauty of idioms. They're just part of how we naturally speak.
Exactly. And that's why learning idioms in context, like through Alex's story, is so much more effective than just memorizing lists. These expressions make your English sound natural and fluent.
Right. Like when I said the pho was to die for, that's just how Americans naturally express that something is incredibly delicious.
And notice how Alex used make that when he changed his coffee order, or room for cream at the cafe. These are the real expressions you'll hear in everyday American English.
And some of these, like just black for coffee, are so specific to American culture. You won't find these in textbooks, but you'll hear them everywhere in the U.S.
The key is understanding that idioms aren't just vocabulary. They're cultural expressions that help you connect with native speakers on a deeper level. Now here's something special we've prepared for you. We've created an interactive quiz video featuring all 41 idioms from Alex's story.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. Tell them about it, Anna.
The quiz video presents each idiom in a multiple choice format, just like you'd see on English proficiency tests. You'll see a sentence with a blank, 4 answer choices, and then we'll reveal the correct answer with a detailed explanation.
And we use the same context from my Vietnam story, so you'll remember them better. It's like getting a mini English lesson for each idiom.
Perfect for test preparation, job interviews, or just sounding more natural in conversations. The video description will have timestamps so you can jump to specific idioms you want to practice.
I really think this will help people remember these expressions because they're connected to real experiences and emotions from the trip.
The quiz video will be live right after this podcast episode, so make sure to check it out and test your knowledge. Thank you so much for sharing your amazing Vietnam adventure with us. Your story was the perfect way to learn these 41 essential English idioms in context.
Thanks for having me, Anna. It was a blast sharing this with your listeners. And seriously, if anyone is on the fence about visiting Vietnam, just pull the trigger and go. You won't regret it.
Look at you using those idioms naturally again. A blast, on the fence, and pull the trigger. Perfect examples of how these expressions become part of your natural speech.
And remember, as I always say, the world is too big to stay in one place. Keep exploring, keep learning.
All right, everyone, here's what I want you to do. First, go watch our quiz video to test your knowledge of these 41 idioms. Second, pick 3 idioms from today's episode and try using them in your own conversations this week.
And if you have your own travel stories with interesting English expressions, share them in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.
And if you helped this episode understand these essential English idioms, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your English learning friends, and subscribe to Speak Daily English for more real, practical lessons like this.
Thanks again for listening, everyone. Keep practicing those idioms, and remember, don't be a stranger.
This is Anna and Alex from Speak Daily English. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep speaking English naturally every day. See you in the quiz video.
See ya.
Speak Daily English. Real English every day.